the Tuesday edition, April 12th, coming up. Just Parlays with Chris King. Countdown begins. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and we are here, Jim Williams, and as we like to call it, it is April Madness. That's right, the NBA playoffs tonight. Both games on TNT tomorrow night. They'll swap over and go to ESPN. And the first Major League Baseball game of the week on Tuesday night is over on TBS. It starts at 9:30. It's the Padres and the Giants. So tonight, Turner Sports has the marquee shows, and it's the NBA playoffs starting, at 7 o'clock, followed over on TBS at 9:30 by the Padres and the Giants. So there you go. So, Chris, how you doing, buddy? What are we talking about today? What's going on?
Well, never a dull moment, like we said in the pre-show. Nice to see Tampa Bay didn't show up yesterday.
Right.
As they, waxed.
But if you had the over, you still...
Yeah, apparently Milwaukee didn't bring their bats either, because they got shut out by Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, no, a total of 2 runs in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive bonanza.
It's funny, it was the exact same score. Yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the opening of Camden Yards. And opening day 30 years ago, the Orioles won 2-0. It was a different Orioles team, though. Much different. Cal Ripken was still on it, and they were a contender back then, but not so much now. So there you go. And we
talked yesterday. We talked yesterday about how the Mets weren't as good as people thought. They led 4-0 yesterday, going into the bottom of the 8th, and proceeded to lose 5-4. So
right.
Good on the Mets for showing that their bullpen still is weak, to say the least.
Yeah, it's
not a great performance from the 8th inning crew there for the Mets. That 8th inning with the Phillies,
locking it down. Yeah.
It was just terrible. I'm just trying to take a look at how that inning played out, because it was not good if you were a Mets fan. Let's see.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
Then they brought in a walk. Then they brought in a new pitcher. He gave up a single. Then they had a fielder's choice. Then there was a 2-run homer by J.T. Realmuto. Mm-hmm. Then Rodriguez struck out Harper for the second out. And, of course, he strikes out Harper, so then they'll take him out.
Right.
They bring in San Lugo, who walked Castellanos, and then he gave up back-to-back doubles that scored 2 runs, and that was it. Then in the 9th, the Mets went down 1-2-3 against Brad Hand.
Right.
So the Mets, not putting it all together in the early going.
Not locking it down. And the Nationals last night put up some big numbers against the Braves, and it was, again, we talked about this earlier, and that is, you really, you can't really tell what's going on in baseball the first couple weeks of the season. It just doesn't, it doesn't compute well. And the Cubbies play this afternoon, opening day in Pittsburgh over at PNC Ballpark. Should be a fun time.
Literally dozens of people expected to be there.
And no, they'll probably sell out at PNC for the opening day. And there's a couple of openers today as well. Before we get to baseball, let's talk a little bit about our buddies at DraftKings. They got a promo for, all of us Max Wagers Network people, winners and whiners, picks and parlays. Here's the deal. Pretty simple. Bet $5 to win $200 in free bets. Make your first deposit bet of $5 or more on any Major League Baseball money line and win automatically $200 in free bets, okay? Again, $5 to win $200. What do? You make your first deposit, bet $5 or more on any MLB Moneyline, and win $200 in free bets, but you got to use our promo code, okay? Use the promo code Winners and Winers Video. That's Winners and Winers Video, W-A-W Video. Get all the information in our show box below, okay? And as we say, as always, you must be 21 years of age to participate and have fun in this. And by all means, always, 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 bet responsibly. Okay, so Chris, we got some baseball we're going to take up first, right?
Correct.
Well, let's go to the boards. And the first board we have is the Astros and the D-backs.
Yeah, well, first I got Ryan saying he went to the Phillies game last night and they wondered why Taijuan Walker only threw the opening 2 innings of that game. Yeah, you have any update on that part, Jim?
I'm sorry, what now? Walker
Taijuan
only threw 2 innings?
He lost my shoulder irritation, apparently.
Yeah, he did. He had some issues when he started in Washington, and he got his shoulder got tight, and so they took him out from that, and so it seems as if it's been exacerbated over the last couple of days. So it's not getting better, and that's not good for the Mets, who built a pretty substantial pitching staff on paper, but unfortunately they haven't had a lot of good luck with it. And of course, yesterday Ryan would know he was there. The bullpen let him down. So there you go. So anyway, thanks for being our on-site reporter, Ryan. We greatly appreciate that. Super Sly, good to see you in the house. And 420 parlay game.
Apparently Walker's MRI came back clean, so at least it's not a serious injury. So
he's probably just a sore shoulder.
Yeah, so if he goes on the shelf or needs time off, I guess they'll probably stick Peterson in his spot.
Likely,
Peterson came in through scoreless yesterday, so there is that. But in this one, we're talking about the Diamondbacks at home. Means the potential for offenses there. We saw that happen over the weekend with some of the games with the Padres. The Astros 3-1. They took 3-4 on the road from the Angels over the weekend. The Diamondbacks lost 3-4, like we said, in San Diego. Luis Garcia was 11-8 with a 3.48 earned run average and a 1.178 whip over 155 in the third innings last year. Face off with Zach Gallen, who was an unimpressive 4-10 with a 4.30 ERA and a 1.294 whip over 121 in the third innings and 23 starts. As you see, Arizona led the majors in runs per game last year at 5.34. Like I said, once we get a week or so in, I can actually put in this year's numbers. If you look at the numbers right now for this season, they're awful skewed because Cleveland leads the league in runs per game because they scored 27 the last 2 days against the Royals. Never mind, they scored 1 in the first 19 innings of the season. So it's a small sample size. I want to wait until we get a few more games in here before we start going with up-to-date numbers. The Diamondbacks were 25th last year in runs per game. They were 13th in runs per game at home. But let's face it, Chase Field is a hitter-friendly ballpark, wouldn't you say, Jim?
Yeah, it is. And they actually kept baseballs in a humidor out there, not unlike what they did in Colorado for a large chunk of the early times that the Diamondbacks played. My understanding is they don't do that anymore. Probably because it's beneficial to the Diamondbacks if they let them rake and try to hit for the fences.
And Ryan's right. Apparently, the Diamondbacks have changed pitchers, and they're going away from Gallen, and they're going to go with Madison Bumgarner for his second start of the year, where he started on opening day.
Right.
And then matchup against Yu Darvish. So, I guess why not? Bumgarner only threw 3 innings on opening day because he walked 4 guys. In that game where the Diamondbacks rallied to win 4-2 by scoring 4 times in the ninth, which we talked about last week. Even with Bumgarner on the mound, I'm not 100% convinced that Arizona can shut down Houston's offense. And let's face it, Arizona's not a very good team. The Astros 4-1 in their last 5 interleague games against the teams with a losing record. 4-1 in their last 5 on the road. 12-4 in their last 16 against teams with winning percentage below 400. Arizona hates winning games. Let's be honest. 1-10 in their last 11 interleague games at home. 0-6 in their last interleague games at home against a right-handed starter. It all adds up to rough numbers.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the Snakes.
Two things I want to ask, Chris, to you and to our listeners out there, viewers out there. One, how much longer do you think Madison Bumgarner is going to actually be a legitimate threat as a starting pitcher? I mean, right now, he's playing. He had a decent year last year, but not a great year. And this year, like you said, he threw 3 innings the other day and didn't really get much out of that. Is he on the back nine here?
I mean, I think so. He's going to be 33 later this year.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't won more than 9 games in a season since 2016.
Right.
Which is concerning because you have to figure you're now talking 5 full seasons have gone, well, 4 if you count the COVID-shortened 2020 campaign. But, I mean, he made 17 starts in 2017. He made 21 starts in 2018. In 2019, that's his best year over the last 5 years. He made 34 starts, but he was just 9-9.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who won at least 13 games 6 straight years from 2011 to 2016. And in the last 5 years combined, he's won 27.
Right. The other,
and you're talking about, it's not a small sample size. You're talking about 107 starts.
Right.
And he got 27 wins.
Right. What about the other thing that's kind of disconcerting to me, and that is there's a lot of interleague play right off the bat. And, I mean, it's I guess, I shouldn't be surprised, but it does, having the Astros and the Diamondbacks play and the Dodgers playing against the Twins in Minnesota, it's just kind of a weird start to the season. And the Marlins playing out in Los Angeles, in Anaheim.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of interleague play to begin with. I never was. I didn't like it back in the 90s. I don't like it now. I just think that was Bud Selig trying to say, hey, look, now you can see your favorite team come play in your hometown if they play in the other league once every 55 years, because that's basically all it boils down to. It's no different than, interconference play in the NFL where, you'll see, like, the Panthers
every 4 years.
are the closest team here. Yeah, so I'll see Buffalo every 8 years in Charlotte because, they have to rotate, or they'll be in Atlanta every 8 years. So it's like, who the hell cares? I mean, nobody's, if you're a Cubs fan and you live in, let's see, Baltimore, you're not going to run out and be excited for the 2 games they come to town every 3 or 4 years.
Now you'd get in the car and drive 40 miles down to Washington and watch the Nationals.
Yeah, you can drive down. I think you can drive to Nationals Park, and you can catch a train or whatever, like we were talking about yesterday. You go to Philadelphia, or you can go to New York City.
Right.
But nobody's going to want to.
But that doesn't work if you're. It doesn't work in the center of the country. I mean, if you're a Cubs fan, in Cincinnati, that's good. But if you're a Cubs fan in Chicago, you have to travel to Cincinnati or Pittsburgh to watch them play. But,
well, I mean, you can always get tickets in Wrigley,
True.
Or so there's that and everything else.
Have you ever watched them in Wrigley? Have you ever gone out over there?
No, I haven't gotten out there yet. It's on my list of things to do. It's just a matter of I was at Safeco Field back in 2001 when it opened. I saw the second game that they had there. Randy Johnson pitched for the Diamondbacks. Imagine that, another stupid interleague game against the Mariners that year.
It's it really is that and Fenway, but more Wrigley. is the old neighborhood. I mean, it literally is in a neighborhood. And the parking there, there's a small parking lot off to the outside of the stadium. And when I say small, maybe 5,000 cars can park in there. Maybe not even. I would guess maybe 2,000 cars can park there. Everything else, you got to take the train or you park in somebody's, in a garage area around there. But it's very much people live in the neighborhood. And as those people used to watch the games on WGN, when the ball was hit, out of the park, there would be kids running. Yeah, out in Waverland, people would run over and try to get the ball, and then you had the seats, which are now actually seats that are for sale through the club. You actually can sit over on the remember in the old right field bleachers, beyond the right field bleachers, you could sit and watch the game on the roof of that building over there, that apartment building, and now, they've got seats over there, so, and then they got that big new scoreboard.
Yeah, that's the Ricketts just trying to cash in as much as they can.
Yeah. And they seem to be doing
it. Kind of takes away some of the charm of, Wrigleyville, where you just see people out there drinking their, red stripes or, whatever up there, as opposed to, now having to pay whatever it is, the going rate is to sit out there.
I will give credit to the Red Sox because, John, they've done a really nice job of making that, of keeping the ambiance of that neighborhood in and around, Fenway Park, very nice. I mean, yeah, they put the seats on the Green Monster, but that really didn't take away anything from the fan experience outside the park. And so yeah, I mean, they've been pretty good about that. So anyway, all right, from the Astros and the Diamondbacks, we move on to.
All right, we're going to move on to, look at that, another stupid interleague game.
Bum bum.
Look at that.
Yes.
It's the Dodgers and the Twinkies.
Yeah, this is a matchup you definitely want to see, the Dodgers and the Twins.
Of course, we talked about the Twins yesterday. Of course, the Kellen Bundy had to go out and pitch well, just to make everybody look stupid.
He just threw strikes. That's all he did.
Yeah, they blanked the Mariners 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle finished with 2 hits. So, real great job by the Mariners, of course, not hitting Dylan Bundy. Pretty much everybody else does. But apparently, they couldn't put the ball, to quote me, Willie Keeler, they didn't hit him where they ain't.
That's true.
And that ended up costing him. Dodgers, of course, lost 2 of 3 to the Rockies over the weekend to Coors, and Andrew Heaney, 8 and 9, with a 583 earned run average and 131 earned whip last year in 129 2/3 innings. Split between the Angels and Yankees. Now taking them up for the Dodgers against. Look at that, Jim. Chris Archer. Remember him?
I do know Chris. He's a good kid. He should make a fine broadcaster one day.
I remember when he was a prospect in the Cubs organization, and they traded him to Tampa way back when. Or no, I'm sorry, they traded him to Pittsburgh, and then he went to Tampa.
And then he went back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and then he went back to Tampa last year.
Yeah, and now
he's in Minnesota.
Now he's in Minnesota. Kind of tells you something, doesn't it? And hey, good to know that Ryan parked for free out in Wrigleyville.
I'm surprised nobody stole your hubcaps.
Yeah.
But,
pretty good neighborhood.
They kind of have a lot of issues with that kind of stuff around the ballpark.
Yeah. Michael wishes that the old Yankees.
Most people take the train.
Yeah. I wish I went to the old Yankee Stadium. I'm lucky to be a Cubs fan and go to Wrigley. Yankee Stadium is the pinnacle. It used to be. So hey, we got Sean Hicks in here. Hang on, let's bring him in.
I had to come in. I heard a Wee Willie Keeler quote, and I'm like, man, I make jokes of like guys in the 80s and 90s, and you went all the way back, Chris. Now you're dating yourself.
we go old school here, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
Hey, that's, by the way,
I
folks.
try to bring in, as much old stuff as I can, keeps people on their toes.
But I do too, man. I feel like even going back to like 2000, people don't even get my jokes. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm really old. Then I forget about going back to the 80s. They go, you're really killer.
We do a lot of quoting of movies.
Entertaining, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And Sean's a good job of making it entertaining every day at noon on the Max Wagers Network. I love watching his show, Midday Money, because he's a good guy, he's a fun guy, and we very much enjoy watching it. So, good on you for the work that you do.
Now I see that pennant of the U back there, Sean. Let me ask you a question. Best quarterback to come out of the University of Miami was A. Vinny Testaverde, B. Bernie Kosar, C. Jim Kelly, or D. Gino Toretta.
Come on, it's Jim Kelly number one. I'm not saying that because you got the Bills thing behind you. Although I wouldn't put Bernie too far behind. Bernie was a pretty solid guy. He just didn't have the, they failed a couple times. Kosar in Cleveland, but he was a solid QB. But it's definitely got Kelly number one. If we're about NFL, right? We're not talking about college. So somebody like Gino Toretta, who's one of those guys who like 28-1 for the U when he was a starter, but that doesn't count because NFL-wise, he was a kid.
I'll tell you how old I am, Sean. I did the Miami games when Jim Kelly was quarterbacking his senior year for WLG down in Miami, Channel 10, and we did that, and then I got Bernie for a little while. And Bernie was in that game against Foodie, in the game that, the famous Hail Mary to Phelan. Yep. So, we were talking a little bit about the Dodgers and the Twins. We were kind of lamenting the early games of interleague already. It's a little annoying to those of us who are old and set in our way, kind of to see division play before we start watching the Dodgers and the Twins.
I don't like interleague one. I mean, I don't want another team. I think we should get rid of a team because pitching, right? No one has enough pitching, so I don't think we should expanding. I know they want to expand. It's money, but
right.
The interleague's got to go. You want interleague? Give it to me 2 weeks in August after trade.
Right.
When
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, don't give it to me to start here. Who wants to see this game? It takes away from the old man yells at cloud. It takes away from the All-Star game, and you see it all the time now. Have it every other year where it's a little juice to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who? I guess, hey, I want to go to the Dodgers or something. Got a great lineup. I understand the whole. But when they start the season, Dodgers.
That's what I said too. I'll ask you, Sean, do you like the DH or no?
I'm not. I can live with the DH. I can live with that because one, they have how many interleague games you got a year? So, all right, if you're going to have all that, I think the DH, because it's just such an advantage for the American League teams. I mean, it's not even close. How many teams have lineups or Philly lineups that are that deep with a bunch of offense guys? So if you're going to throw out interleague games every other week, make it even. That's fine. I don't mind. I like having an extra guy on the bench. You want to extend the bench a little. Fine. Yes, I understand. You get the extra guy out there. It's a guaranteed salary, stuff like that. I like that basically. I'm a Yankee guy, so my team always falls apart. I shouldn't say my team. Any team you like, you got injured. Every team's oh my goodness, it's like my team's always injured. So an extra guy always helps. But interleague, not loving it. Dodgers, come on, what are we here?
I love the game. My brother would say I wouldn't even free for this game on TV.
And I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. I love it. I didn't even watch. I don't watch these games. The Tigers was on my other computer. I was watching that early game. But this game, I'm not going to want to watch. I got a Sanchez. RI here, so maybe I'll tune in a little bit. I'm a big interleague guy.
I'm not. I never liked it. I didn't like when they started. I didn't blame Bunty League for that.
The whole.
I blame Bunty League for a lot of things.
I'm going to take my team to the National League. I think better over there. Now.
Yeah, I do.
The old two-division thing, I get it. Look at that now. Teams wouldn't have made the playoffs. Who won World Series? Is that even a word? World Series?
But you let it go. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I could still do. If you want to do two divisions and 6 teams, take the two and then a couple the teams behind them, make it a 4-team one. Okay. But where are you at now? How many teams are going to end? Is it going to turn into the NBA with 16 teams after the league in the playoffs? For me, because you know what? I'll take a flyer on the Tigers or the Marlins or Seattle to win a a division or make the playoffs at +1. Ken Dorsey or Steve Wallace, it's Dorsey. I mean, the Dorsey teams, just because, Michael, if you're talking about
just winning,
as good as those Wallace teams or those Johnson teams, those two teams, let's be honest, they beat Ohio State game. Phantom leg coming 8 seconds after the fact. Come on. What is that? That team should be undefeated back-to-back years. That team was awesome. I'm going to say bad teams, but I don't know.
Well, there's a difference. The Jimmy Johnson teams at the U were not just good; they knew they were good.
Yeah.
And they knew they were, and it was fun to watch. A lot of people. Dennis had a good run.
Home credit important. Just get in there and just let.
Dennis.
Those teams had Hall of Fame guys at skill position, offensive line, defensive line, second. Like, to me, I'm voting guys, and we've all seen the U on the third. Right. I mean, those teams are just. I mean, these teams now, they say they're right. A USC team. Right, they're a team, but they weren't. They were Miami teams, Reggie Bush and Matt Leonard. They're not in the Hall of Fame. They're not.
And you had to trouble getting out of the state because that time Bowden had great teams at Florida State.
Yeah.
So,
we can do a whole show on. We can do a whole show on you. I love the U. It's
we have. And we continue to. So, so today we're fading the Twins.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, the Twins don't like interleague playing more than we do. I mean, it's 3-15 last 18 played a starter interleague. 2 in last interleague game, 12 at home against left-handed starter. So apparently Minnesota doesn't like interleague games yet. So I think their vote to get rid of.
Yeah. Exactly. I just can't. I mean, I'm not an Andrew Heaney guy. Like that's. I'm not looking at him on the road because especially everybody's gonna be like, take the Dodgers. They lost 2 in a row. Give me our team total play here. If we want the Dodgers, that's a team total. And, expect them to score some runs.
You gotta.
Yeah, especially with Archer on the mound.
Yeah, the center, he's on the downside. Snowball coming down the hill.
We're talking about Bumgarner. I think he knew everything on the downside of his right now.
Yeah, for sure. Come on. He's all right. He's going to get 5-6, but I'm not looking at him often. I like Garcia anyway from Houston. I think he's a young stud. Couldn't do it. Listen, great, but this Arizona team, I got a future. It was like a 100-1 future Arizona. Still not going to win. Just couldn't take Dodgers, and where else I went there? I'm feeling crazy. I like Martin, who knows, but I can't keep man. Not his spot. Maybe on the road, because I think Arizona's going to be a big builder. Going to be a builder.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. It's a number out there.
Exactly. Chris, that's what I tell people. Like, I tell you, monster parlay about all the time. Somebody do the parlays. Chris, I say, like, best way to go 3-1 is put a 14 parlay. Like, I run 5 games. I go 5 games, go 3-2, whatever it is. At least I'm not splitting out. I feel like I got 3-1 one day and then end up with 1. Like, that's just frustrating.
Yeah, I get that too. And that's why we always say, if you're worried about it, always make sure you bet things straight out on their own. Because that way, not finding it just off of it. Sometimes we get lucky, sometimes better lucky than good. It's Bobby the Brain Heenan.
WWF back there, I love that. He's on Cartoon Express USA on 12 after Jabberjaw.
Yeah, Detroit Lenny's.
Yeah, the MDM, he can get it on his phone. Player props. I find like a $15. Last I do like maybe I'm not a player prop guy. I'm still in. I'm like, well, I'm every day trying to do one for a game.
I was watching the show this morning. You had some pretty good prop.
Yeah, I think Michelle complained about how he was trying to look at Nottingham the other day and Nottingham got hurt. And he was running the Nicole Jokic double train.
Yeah, BA, I never seen no been allowed. I mean, I'm 20 and 80. That's it. 45 games. The entire season. I'm already like 3-18. I've already surpassed NBA in less than 4 games of baseball. College basketball, I have 600 games. And I can't do NBA props. And I say this every morning. Like, at 12 noon, I don't spend. These guys, 18, 20, 30 million a year, they don't care enough to tell you they're playing until 5 minutes before they're snuck. I can't bet on it. I cannot do it. Can't do NBA.
That's a tough part. Like, yeah, you said these are really well. We also know they're going to rule out half their starting lineup, 5 minutes before tip.
Having a little bit of technical problems here, but it'll be back in just a second. We will stay with, don't go anywhere, folks. We're having technical difficulties. Please stand by. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Stand by. Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Buffalo's going to win, just struggle on wins. So.
I'm still doing it clear, but they're taking us to the 47-17 win in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you guys are. Let's be honest. I think you guys are probably top 3 teams, right? I mean, actually, to the Titans. I like Titans team. They got a little good defense, but I think they're as good as anybody, really.
You like the way they run the good run game. They got away from it, and it cost them in the playoffs last year.
And then, people don't like throwing, it's all about passing. But what? If your guy's going to run for 2,000 plus yards, you got to rate it a little bit. And the quarterback does enough. He's got enough guys running. Let's be honest. I know I was a passing, so I didn't come in here and throw for 1,000 yards. So if you got to bust it open the line, and you got to respect the line and bring a guy up, halfway the quarterback should put somewhere in the same. So for that, so wait. Bengals doesn't have to happen yet with the Titans. But
you never know what's going to happen.
It's coming eventually, They just don't know when.
You guys don't know. Comes in football. That's the. Which actually not filled with. Is it cocaine? What is that? Building in a cocaine. That is a rough life right there.
I'm also a Leafs fan, and they haven't won in 67. At least, that's not consistent. So, that brings me to a different point. You get all these people that jump bandwagons all the time. There seems to be a lack of loyalty when you get down fan bases. I'm sure you've seen that plenty with the way people jump on and off with Dallas and things like that. What do you make of it?
I think one of the things is that cable TV basically, right? Direct TV, what the case is, we're watching it. 80s, 90s, I mean, about game, I had to go to a bar. Somewhere I had to have a satellite dish to CBS West. I mean, right? Remember CBS West? Remember the restaurant I was at? I went on CBS 2 West to watch like the Raider game or something. Like, we had a big giant satellite on top of the restaurant.
So I'm going to give you a real quick one, Sean. I'll give you a real quick one. I was directing a game. The Indians were on the West Coast. I was doing a game. We were in Seattle at the Old Dome. We're about to go on there, and so I'm calling control. And I'm saying, do you see we always put a shot on an establishment shot. And I said, do you see the flagpole? And the guy goes, no, I don't see the flagpole. He goes, all I see is the same dome that was there last night. I go, we're in Anaheim, okay? We're not there. You're looking at a different game. That game's not going to start for another few minutes. You better get this thing fixed. Meanwhile, the accidentally turned off the phone, so now I lost communications to the network. So, give me the phone, dial that phone number back now. So, they got down the phone number back. I got, headlights on, and screaming at the guy, do you see the flagpole? I said, oh my God, how possibly you don't see the flagpole? We're literally shooting flagpole. You can't see it. He goes, no, I can't. And I realized after about 2 minutes that the guy I'm talking to is not actually control some phone number in New York. That's we got. It's just some poor guy on Long Island that's getting ragged on. He's screaming, "Why can't you see my flagpole?" So yeah, there was also days when we had to share satellite. So when one game went off during a break, you would literally change from one satellite to the other satellite, so it would still be on the air. So nowadays, everything's fiber, and they can do games. The Big Ten Network and the Big 12 Network, Pac-12 Network do the games all from Chicago and from San Francisco. So
there's something about the old video stuff.
I'm going to pull out one thing, Sean, though, and take a picture and send it to you. And that's a sports phone microphone flag.
Yes.
We talked about that yesterday, so I'm going to do that for you. All these people are going, we didn't come here to listen to you three guys yak about it. So let's go to, what do we got? We're going to the ice, right, Chris?
How should you follow the issue?
A little bit. I'm getting under 500.
Well, then you're much like the Ducks that we're talking about.
64 and 74, but I'm 51 and 41. So the video.
Well, there you go. So we'll just overlook another one.
These people nowadays think everybody's hitting 90%. So I'm like, yeah, you can come in here, you can catch a loss with me. I'm real life here. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we say all the time. We don't win every one that we out there. I mean, you saw these people that talk about how they win player props when their player props is like Joe Blow over 2.5 rebounds. They're like, everybody's like, yeah, you're great because Joe Blow got a 3. It's like 2.5 rebounds. Like, you're standing there.
It was like minus 750.
Yeah.
I had to take.
I like Panthers. To be fair, I like Panthers with the puck line.
I say even 175. Like I like going over like 150 on regular stuff. Like 175 puck line's crazy. Like to me, this is just the
over. Probably wins one by like multiple, by like 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah,
but
I would just take over.
Think, there you go. Minus 2.5. 2.5 is plus 105.
Yeah, I think they score 4 plus goals. I think total over.
Yeah, Florida averages 4% goals a game at home. So they're better than their average, or their overall average of 4.15. Tottenham's gone 2-11-3, I think, in their last 16 games. So, and on to Florida's home. Bobrovsky's better than Gibson by a long time. Bobrovsky's 34-6-3, 70-24. The Ducks scored 23rd goals, 422nd goals against. 6-1 in their last 7 after giving up 2 or less. They're coming in off a win over. Opened up on Nashville for 1. Because they put a second game back after Buffalo tried. Florida's 11-2, scores 2 less, and guess what? Anaheim does a lot. The Dogs are coming in off a uninspiring 5-2 loss to Carolina. Can't guess what that game is. So right. Panthers 3-8 in their last 51 home. The Ducks, they 45 in their last 50 games, winning record 1-5 in their last 6 games. 0-7 in their last 7 by 1 game. Not a good night for Anaheim. They left an hour off for.
There you go. Injuries, just call us. We'll put the phone number up there, folks.
It's 555.
No. Do cheat Steve. Don't call us, we'll call you. Okay, Dutch won 7 games, played on one to rest. And we've already established that Florida is enigmatic on the road, but they play well on. They are just light on them. But it is in the swamp near size, but it's definitely house. So, all right. So the Panthers and
the weather.
Maybe, yeah.
I call them my Panthers.
There you go. All right, let's go.
And I will try another ugly number because Sean had fun putting the hell man. That one is one that's too bad. Said Burgess asked about the Kraken and the Flames. Let's face it, the Kraken are bad.
This is where the parlays come into play. You know what? I got 3 huge 4-out faves. I mix them up, go for it.
Exactly. That's basically. Yeah, when these plays, yeah, it's horrible. They're getting any better. They don't score goals. They have to face Markstrom with league in shutouts. If we look at the
Seattle started. Yeah. It's like this all over against Seattle. I think only the first 2 games, and it was going off a cliff.
Went down
the 3-8 season. Hungary 6-4 in Seattle on September 30th. They won 2-1 at home on February 18th. And then they won the road 3 days ago. So the game scored home. That means the Kraken have scored 6 goals in 3 games and got 12. A good night for Philippe Bauer, who we've been beating on him a lot.
Yeah.
He's bad.
He said it tough year.
I mean, that's a safe bet too. I think it's at. Look at they've got it. Is it 6.5? I think that was earlier. I think some of the people are jumping on that train too. Like that, Sean. Seattle doesn't score much. 2 or 3 meetings have gone under total. That's a safe lead as well. Now, like you said, with the way Parlays work, even if you jump on some bigger one, they can pan out for you because it's probably the only time that people would jump on some of these numbers because nobody wants to make a straight bet where you're laying that much chance. Yeah. But when you're in the parlay game, you don't, it doesn't sting as much.
I wouldn't. Basically, money on it. $100, $50, $10, $1,000. It's one shot I've been taking for playing Fowlers on.
Here's a baseball one that I'll talk to Mr. Hayes and Mr. King. Gentlemen, any thoughts on this?
I like Molly and a renter. A little underaction too. Molly over there, he's coming into his own. And there is, I had a game when it was like 120 over KC. They pulled him in for like 50 pitches. I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't either because I had him going over 6.5 strikeouts.
Yeah, I took his over strikeout, say 5.5. I'm like 150 pitches. That's a steep one for me. Normally I'd say no, and I was like, I'm betting it. And I realized what it was. 150. He's 5.5, 115. I like the under. I know he was lit up the last 2 games, but I like the under, and I count the Reds.
Yep.
I bet the Reds, I bet the under.
No Guardian, no Chicken.
It's middle central teams as a nature, but I mean, Cleveland's bound to regress. I mean, sure they scored 17 runs. 27 runs last 2 games against the Wild. let's face it, guys that run through there, Carlos Hernandez and Chris Jacobar and Kinder Danger and none of those guys make what they can do. And as much as the American ballpark and box, the weather's probably not felt favorable today. I think this is Cleveland's going to come back to earth one day late for our team as a Royals fan.
Right.
What can you do?
So let's go. We got the NBA playoffs begin tonight, and that's got to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people are waiting for this one.
It's going to be an exciting matchup.
These games are TNT, by the way, folks. We will watch them on TNT tonight.
What game does Harlan have?
Harlan has the first one, Brooklyn and Cavaliers.
Not sure why I don't really care if Clippers.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, these teams were 30, both of them. Well, at least Brooklyn got better down the stretch. They had 112.9 and fourth field set, 15-point shooting. More importantly, Kyrie Irving can play in this game now. That's a big difference because we saw that wasn't the case early on. Cleveland's good defensively, but they don't have Jared Allen. That's a big blow for them because, they haven't had Allen. They didn't have Mobley for a bit. Finally came back. Cleveland, they stumbled down the stretch. They lost 7 of their last 10. And one of those was they rested pretty much everybody but the water. They lost the Nets Friday night, 118-107 in this building, the Barclays Center. One of those first times that the Nets had covered hopefully. Sean, one of those times where you're actually going to see guys on the floor. What do you think of the Nets and the Cavs?
I got the Nets the other day at 7.5 and again at 8. So I'm in the number here. And everyone's talking about the Nets and their record, like doing 20 kind of ATS run. We had premium with the Nets, and this team a lot of through the year. They've never been together. Right? They traded Harden. Plus, the two guys played more like 14-2 all through Monaco. Great was that guy really good play this year. Last year they were all injured. Harden. I feel that whole trend for like Kyrie, Durant. Arguably, that's a big combo. That's good or better than any. People can say what you want. I don't know. I mean, I see Kyrie. The championship for LeBron. He's on his own planet again. Was he 100% covered today? Yeah, Cleveland. The beginning I started, right? Who thought they were that good to start here? No one saw that coming down, right? They started out red hot. Then they went on like a great 20 and one covering ATS run. They were awesome. Everybody thought. Well, where are they now? I mean, like you said, young team. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're just out. I think that's running out of the building. I like over here. You say it's only 3 points. So I get off that over. Keep looking at under the 26, but. Give me that. I think that double digits. I think Kyrie goes 35 plus. He's going to do his thing. It's going to be like a 180 to like 100 kind of game. I don't think Cleveland gets to the 100-point mark.
Yeah.
Totally. I thought this would be like one high-scoring game. I'm like, I don't know. Line move last night, 3 points. That's not people coming into chats and watching TikToks and Twitter stuff. That's more sharper. And that's some, as I say, the smart money coming in and really pounding something that it's respected to move that number 3. So I'm going to follow that, and it's under the total.
You also have 2 players you talked about in K and 3 who have vast playoff experience where the Cleveland Cavaliers don't.
Guys are young. It's a young team.
Yep. Overachieved, which is not a bad thing. It's the thing. No.
And the problem is they peaked early. Peaked when they were peaking in December. That doesn't help.
That's gonna help. Moving out west. Where are we going there, Chris?
We're going to go to Target Center in Minnesota where the Timberwolves are hosting the Clips. Now, no one said no expecting the Timberwolves to be good. First time they've been in the playoffs in 4 or 5 years, and it's only the second time since 2003. Just to give you an idea of how bad Minnesota's been in recent memory. Now, they're projected to win 35 games this year, so they went over that in a hurry. I actually like home against the Clips. I think that's what they go over the total. Minnesota is an over machine. They score a truckload of points. They give up a truckload of points. Clippers got George back, which is a plus for them. They're actually getting some form of health back, which is something they haven't had all year. Kawhi Leonard, $800 million for not playing. He's still recouping from that important ACL from last year.
That version of the home game.
Luke Kennard will play with a sore hamstring, so he is out. It's questionable as far as the Clips go. But look at these totals here. The Clips have gone over for 0 in their legs, underdog, 4-0-1 in their last road underdog. Minnesota's going for each of the last 5 on one day, or each of their last 5 meetings. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's also on over 8 of the last 9 meetings at the Target Center. Here right now, though, I think Minnesota being a little bit healthier in this case. They won the last matchup. The Clippers won their 3 meetings in the season series in November. So, I mean, that was, 5 months ago when Anthony Edwards was still feeling his way out. It was, rusty, Russell, I don't even know if he played at the time. It was 5-2-1 against the spread. At least teams are losing road record. The Clippers 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 as an underdog. 1-4 in their last 5 underdog. 4 in their last 5 on the road against teams with a home winning percentage better than 600. Let's face it, the Clips don't like the road. Of course, they didn't really like the crypto dome either. But hey, better like so the year, right?
That's right. The best team in the building are the Kings. So all right. Before we do, John, we're going to get to the fun part just a second. Before we do, most commerce must earn. So let's speak about our buddies at Caesars Sportsbook. And Caesars Sportsbook is giving you $1,100 for insurance. Place first-time wager of up to $1,100 and get it back in the form of bet if you happen to lose. Okay, so you can't lose. Take a shot. All right. Okay, but that only works if we do one thing. That one thing is this: use the promo code. Okay, use the promo code, which is ATS Windsor. No, it's easy. It rolls right off the tongue. It rolls right up. It rolls right off the tongue. Right in the show box below. Okay, so all the cool stuff is in the show box below. Remember, 21 years of age to participate, and always, as we say here, always bet responsibly. All right. So now we're gonna have some fun with our Parlays. To the before the show, and what we like on the Chinese media. Spend with you for the money.
Yeah, I'm going to put those 2 keys that we talked about earlier in one parlay. I just think that, the Flames and the Panthers should be proud of the Brandon Ducks. Those are 2 teams going nowhere in 2 division leaders. I just don't think that anything's going to pan out of it. I'm going to lean towards the Dodgers with Twins. I don't trust Chris Archer more than throw him. The Twins haven't been all that impressive offensively in the first week of the season. Dodgers theoretically should be better offensively than what we saw. I know they struggled in Colorado. And he didn't really play to begin with. Talked about already. I'm going to go with the Nets. I agree with Sean. I think they're going to roll Cleveland out of the Barclays Center. And first Cleveland play whoever comes out of the all exciting Charlotte Atlanta game tomorrow. They'll be the 8 seed. I think that the Nets have too much talent. There's too much proven talent. There's guys that have rings on the team. On your face, the team's got a bunch of guys that outside of Cleveland really don't know what it's like to be in a game situation like this. I think that Brooklyn's going to win that one rather convincing.
All right,
that's really left for down this way. He's going to play all year.
For the show.
All right, we're going to move over the Clips. I'll go with the Caps. I think they're going to cover by plus 100, which is nice over the Flyers. I'm looking for Tampa Bay to bounce back. Even though Tim, you know anything about Tommy Romero?
He's a guy that they've been very high on in their minor league system for quite a while. So this is one of their young ones.
Somebody else listed his target.
Yeah, he's not been for Ebro. I guess he's even down to.
Yeah.
And the A's are throwing Adam Holler, another guy I've never heard of. So
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke at Christmas sequel.
Yeah.
Adam Holler.
Right. And the Boston the Snowman is.
They hold their picture until they move on to college.
Apparently they don't have any faith in also even though the scored 15 runs yesterday. I guess they figured their quota fee. And we talked about it originally, like you said, Sean, Garcia going for the Astros. Really, when I wrote this slide, it was Zach Gallen. You look for the Astros to pick up the win there, in your opinion?
I got them already. I got them last night at a +109 on the line, if you're not.
Wow, so that's even better.
Yeah, that's
so there you go.
All right.
I find the number sometimes, but I'm short of a pitching change where it gets matched. I stay with it. This one I'm staying with my Astros.
Okay, boys and girls, this is what we like to call our Chinese menu. And you can mix and match anything here. What do you like? We got Friday 9 out of these. All right, so let's see. Yeah, sorry about the Wizards taking.
Unfortunately, they're playing anymore, so you don't have to worry about them screwing anything up.
Yeah, they're playing ball.
But I like Marlon over the Angels. It's supposed to be. I know it's a good time to get there. I'm just trying to make sure who they've got listed down the pitch. It was me, Richard Dixon at this point.
I bet all last night. I got Lazaro.
Lazaro and Salem. Good, so that didn't change. Salem was supposed to be free, and then they pushed him back and tried to read against the Avs instead. I think Lazaro's got better stuff. I think that the Woods, I think they'll get a bounce back from yesterday's 6-2 beating and take care of the Angels. The Padres, it's Yu Darvish against Cobb. You know, when Alex Cobb was good back in, was that age 12?
When is this? Yeah. Yeah.
Before he started getting hurt, everything else started.
This is game week by TBS tonight, 9:30. The Padres and Giants.
You look how he won 12 games in 2017. In the last 4 years, he's 30. I mean, he's
there you go.
healthy. I mean, he won. I think one of those wins came last year against the third team with the Angels. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, What do you think of Darvish and Cobb, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, Darvish, I put the Giants as a big pick just because Darvish last year had a 5-plus rate, first save rate, and 4 starts. You know, 16 hits, 7 homers the guy gave him. Like, I don't know. And again, I think he had a little extra hype on him, a little hyped up because he was, no hitters coming in.
Darvish gave 700 to the Giants.
I don't hate this next one because it's the Yankees on it.
I hope we got Blue Jays, baby. Let's go Blue Jays.
Oh, you're going again for fanning your own team?
I'll always fan the Yankees. Always were. I got the Yankees 91.5 a year. I'm not the Yankees team. Yeah, I mean, I like money better than I like teams.
Yes, absolutely.
They underachieve all the time. Like most teams, they always underachieve. Right? Best team loses 60, 70 games. So I don't mind paying whoever I get.
Yeah, it's a Kikuchi versus Cortez tonight. Yes. Unless it changes, but you never know. But I like the way Toronto played yesterday. Bounced back. We got a good start from Manoah, which they needed after the way their bullpen had pitched pretty much the entire series against Texas. I just like Toronto in that spot. Normally, I stay away from the Cubs because just smarter that way, but they're playing there. I don't trust Jose Quintana. I've watched him pitch for the Angels. I've watched him pitch for the White Sox. He's not the same guy. The Pirates are bad. Now, if it says a blow up in my face, Pedro Smiley will give up 7 runs at the top and the bottom of the first and get knocked out of the box. But, you know, it looks good on paper. Upset goals, like I said, I think this is going to go over 231. Again, last night, the targets that have gone over. That sounds pretty compelling to me. And like Sean said, I'm looking for the Nets and the Cavs to go under 227. Apparently, now it's 226 and a half. So somebody's hammering the total, Sean.
Yeah. 28.
Yeah, so it's dropping precipitously. Like Michael said, the Blackhawks were fading them tonight. Kings on the ice at the United Center. I think Evan Lincoln is starting for the Blackhawks and taking a shot quick. The Oilers and the Xfinity Center. Minnesota is very well at home. They also scored truckload of goals. Ought to be the over should be in play.
Is Montgomery in tonight for Minnesota?
We'll check.
I mean, they trade for him.
But you never know.
They did for him.
Yeah, it's not really how they're going to alternate him and all that, but it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Let's see. Nope, they've confirmed that Cam Melvin in net. Minnesota.
All right.
Because that's brilliant. Trade for a guy that's had Stanley Cup rings since they got it.
Does it?
For the Rangers. Mikko Koskinen expected to get the start for the Oilers, but either way, you're talking about two teams that like to lay the land. The Oilers played well under Jay Woodcroft and for Dave Tippett. Just a quick look here at the goals per game. Minnesota averages 4 goals a game. They average 60 on these. Oilers there 3.44. Average totals for those teams: 6.8 goals a game. The Wild 6.7. Seeing this being over 6.5. Last meeting, 7, Oilers 3 in February. 3 of the last 4 have gone over them. The Devils, they always a game that nobody's going to watch because even if on ESPN 3, it weighs ESPN 3. Another game you can watch. But, somebody's going to win this game because they don't let you have time anymore. Sean, do you have anything good to say about either one of those teams?
I think Arizona. 155 looks... Because Arizona's competitive sometimes. Because they are... Whatever. They want to play a bad team. Arizona is. I wouldn't even look at Oakland. It's like the Cubs and Pirates. Like, you can't get involved with a team with Pirates. You can come out and prove, like, would you be shocked if they shell Smiley today? No. Like the Devil. I wait 150 for the Devils?
And my friend that Sean Hayden hit for the Blackhawks was better than Kevin Lincoln.
I would fill the line, baby. 6'1", 275. They on me, nothing's by. Nothing's getting by.
He still has the butterfly.
And he said, put the Devils and Coyotes on the show. And I'm going to go with the Ottawa Senators, much to the chagrin of Detroit Lenny, over the Red Wings. Wings twice last week. Not sure if it's going to be Anton Forsberg or Matt Sogard. And if we're talking about Sogard, letting Jim when he's not a big goal here. Sogard fits the bill. He comes in
6'7".
6'7". And what is he? 6'35" or something like that. They're saying 6'7". He's when you're 6'7". Where do you shoot?
He's Rick Morton.
210 though. He's a straight. Something as a
freshman. True. But
10.
But if he hurts the pants, though, he won't be like, he might be calling me.
When he's going to dress, Reese is going to knock him over.
It's fine.
Hey, well, first time Reese, 9-12-1 with a 363 goals is an 89% expected to get the start for the Red Wings in that one. everything has anything good to say about Thomas Bryce other than at least he has jersey.
It's a start. Drive the Zamboni. Okay, it's time, guys. And let's start with what we got. Midday Money. Dude, Sean Higgs, he looks right there, folks. Watch him live, noon. It's fun. I'm there. I watch it. It's fun. Followed by Morning Wood with RB Allie Burns, 1-2. She was a lot of fun today. Got to stop by the her show. Then we round out the first three, just parlays with Chris Kim. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Then the two Scots back at the window. Yes, I'm on. There you go. On the window. 4, and then game time decisions with Nick, Tim, and Lenny close out 6 hours of very interesting programming. Where else are you going to find it? And nowhere else except for Max Wagers Network, and that's the theme, folks. So, any final questions, we'll turn it over.
6 hours of commercial-free broadcasting.
Yeah. You get what you pay for, boys. It's not commercial-free. We got wonderful sponsors. We have DraftKings, we got Caesars, okay? All of that's in the show.
We don't have commercials.
Oh, I have to give them. So, it's in the show box below. Also, Chris's Parlays, if you want the information on it, in the show box below. You get a free baseball guide, which is 100 pages. That's also in the show box below. All that information in the show box below. And basically, it's been a lot of fun, folks. But we got to get out of here because, the police claim, got to get going before you get put in jail. All kidding aside, Sean, it's been a lot of fun having you here. Thanks for dropping by. We greatly appreciate it.
And, I'll be popping in the show boxes.
Yeah, it's not. It's like just behind the door. Let's pull the curtain. There it is. It's Sean Higgs. So anyway, it's always fun. Everybody have a nice time tonight. We take that. Any challenge on Major Baseball, we got to lit everything. So enjoy yourself. And no questions? We have any questions before we get out of here?
Because he's looking for law advice.
It's probably, It's probably somebody who got in a car accident. They went in touch with us. I'll pass it on to the boys. We will definitely take care of it. But just say any last questions out there from the class before we leave?
There's the Flipper game we talked about that.
All right, boys and girls, thanks very much for coming by. We greatly appreciate it. We shall be back here at o'clock tomorrow. But at noon, the man below here, that Sean Higgs, gotta watch him at noon. And watch out 1 and come see us at 2, Scott and Scott 3, and in the game at 5. Okay, so that should take care of your day tomorrow. And it should take your day today. Have a great day. We shall see you tomorrow at 2 later on the Max Waiters. Work as soon as